Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into something completely fundamental, a tool that has probably touched literally all of our digital lives at some point or another. Yep, we are talking about Microsoft Word 2019. Think of this software as your ultimate digital canvas. It's a word processing app built specifically to help you create really professional-looking documents with zero hassle. So, whether you are a total beginner or just, looking to solidify your structural understanding, this explainer is designed to give you total, step-by-step mastery over your digital text. Let's get into it.
I mean, think about that for a second. We've all been there, right? Staring at a blank screen, just wanting our ideas to look as good digitally as they sound in our heads. Well, that is exactly what this entire journey is about. We're going to take that basic desire to create and transform it into a practical, highly confident skill.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. Section 1, Meet MS Word 2019. Section 2, Exploring the Word Interface. Section 3, Creating and Saving Files. Section 4, Opening and Editing Documents. And finally, Section 5, Solving Practice Questions. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Meet MS Word 2019, Your First Steps. Okay, so before we can even type a single word, we obviously have to open the app. The sequence is actually super straightforward. You're just going to start by clicking the Start button right on your computer. From there, you click on All Apps. You'll literally just scroll through that alphabetical list until you hit the word icon and then give it a click. Once the program launches, your final step is to click on Blank Document. This is basically you asking the software for a fresh piece of digital paper. And when you do that, it opens up an empty document and automatically gives it the default title, Document 1.
Moving right along to Section 2, Exploring the Word Interface, the Component Catalog. Now, take a look at how beautifully this whole environment maps out your digital workspace. It's really like a digital command center. Let your eyes kind of wander across the layout here. Right up at the very top, you've got the title bar, which is where you'll see that Document 1 name we just talked about. Over on the far left of that top bar is your Quick Access toolbar, which is this super handy little spot for your most frequently used commands. Below the top bar is a massive band of tools, and underneath that is your workspace. That's the big blank area where your actual text goes, complete with a blinking line we call the insertion point. And finally, right at the bottom edge of the window, you've got the status bar keeping track of your pages and word count. So the absolute most crucial thing to understand here is that big band of tools sitting right under the title bar. That is called the ribbon. Honestly, think of the ribbon as the absolute brain of the operation. It contains every single tool you need to interact with your file. And it's organized so brilliantly into these different tabs. Each tab contains specific buttons, and those buttons are neatly grouped together. This is where the magic happens, folks. And here's where it gets really clever. The ribbon is actually incredibly smart. There are basically two main types of tabs you need to be aware of: active tabs and contextual tabs. By default, Word always opens with the Home tab active. You can totally spot the active tab because it has a white background and blue letters. But a contextual tab, that's a different story. It really stands out because it's darker in color and usually pops up over to the right. The really cool thing here is that contextual tabs only appear when you select specific objects, like an image. It's literally the software intelligently handing you special options exactly when you need them. Let's jump to Section 3, Creating and Saving Files, keeping your work safe.
Listen, to make sure you never ever lose your hard work to, say, a random power outage or an accidental click, you have to save it securely. And the logic here is really simple. First, you just click the File tab located way up in the far left corner. That drops you into something called the Backstage view. From there, you click Save. This pops open a window where you can just type the name of your document right into the file name box. Finally, hit that Save button and you're golden.
Now, here's a massive pro tip. Actually, scratch that. It's absolutely vital. You have to know the difference between save and save as. You should always use save as the very first time you save a file. Why? Because you need to introduce the file to the computer. You're telling it exactly where to live and what its name is. Once the document has a name and a home, you just use the regular save command to update whatever changes you make, and that whole save as window won't even bother you again.
Which brings us to Section 4, Opening and Editing Documents, bringing it back later.
So, when you're ready to pick up exactly where you left off, the steps are super logical. Once again, you're going to start by clicking that File tab to get into the Backstage view. But this time, you click Open. Next, click Browse so you can peek through your computer's folders. You just find and select the file from wherever you tucked it away, click the Open button, and boom, your document is right back on the screen, totally ready for you to get back to work. And while you're in there editing, Word 2019 has these incredibly powerful tools to just make your life easier. For instance, there are learning tools that can literally read your text out loud to you, or they can change the page color and text spacing so it's easier on the eyes, all without permanently changing your actual document. There's also a totally built-in translator under the Review tab, which is amazing for instantly translating your text into another language. Oh, and down at the bottom right of the status bar is the Zoom slider. That just lets you quickly adjust how big the document looks on your screen.
All right, Section 5, Solving Practice Questions. Let's test your knowledge. Okay, let's jump right into our first practice question straight from the source material. When you open a new blank document, what is its default file name? Is it Document, Word 1, Document 1, or My Document? Think all the way back to our very first steps. Well, if you went with Document 1, you nailed it. Absolutely correct. Like we saw when we were checking out the title bar, before you use the Save As function to give your file a specific name, Word automatically throws in that placeholder, Document 1.
All right, let's step it up and try 2 interface visual memory questions back to back. Ready? First, where exactly is the Quick Access toolbar located? And second, which specific type of tab appears only when you select an object, like an image? Just take a second to kind of picture that interface map we were looking at earlier. Okay, let's see how you did. So, the Quick Access toolbar is located way up to the left of the title bar at the very top of your screen. And that special tab that only pops up when you click an image, that is our friend, the Contextual tab. It intelligently drops in extra options just for modifying that specific object, keeping the rest of your screen nice and clutter-free. Moving right along, let's do a super quick true or false question to test our spatial orientation. See if you can spot the error here. True or false? The Quick Access toolbar is located on the right side of the title bar. Yeah, no way. That statement is definitely false. The Quick Access toolbar is firmly anchored on the left side of the title bar. The right side is totally reserved for your window control buttons. You know, the minimize, maximize, and close buttons. All right, let's tie this whole shebang together with the quick matching exercise. Notice how perfectly these pieces lock together. The title bar, that's what shows your default Document 1 file name. The ribbon is that main command hub, packed with your tabs, groups, and buttons. Your workspace is the literal canvas, completely equipped with rulers and that blinking cursor. Down below, the status bar is quietly tracking your page number and word count. And right next door to that, the zoom slider lets you dial in exactly how large the document displays on your screen. Wow, we have covered so much ground today. You've done a really fantastic job navigating this explainer. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a real-world scenario. Suppose you took a leave yesterday
and you absolutely must write an application to your teacher right now. You sit down at your computer. Based on literally everything we covered today, what is the very first step you would take to start that digital document in MS Word 2019? Think about hitting that start button and launching your blank canvas. Think it over. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Keep practicing these basics, and I'll see you in the next explainer.